Welcome to CDR Quicktake with CarbonX. I'm your host, Eli Harrell. In this bi-weekly report series, you will get transparency into what's happening in the CDR and carbon markets, as well as key pricing data and market trends, ensuring that you have access to the most up-to-date information to inform critical decisions. If you're responsible for making the best decisions possible with your ESG budget, this show and report are for you. If you find these reports useful, please subscribe and set notifications so that you'll see them every 2 weeks. Let's get into it. Welcome to the first episode of CDR Quicktake with CarbonX. I am your host, Eli, and with me today is Paolo Piffaretti. He's the CEO and co-founder of CarbonX. We'll just jump straight into this. These are going to be short reports. So the first question that I want to ask Paolo, since this is our inaugural report, could you give the audience some context as to why are we doing this in the first place?
Absolutely. And first, I'd like to thank you, Eli, for being here with us and hosting this show with us.
My pleasure.
And absolutely. Here, the reason why we're doing this show is, first of all, we wanted to provide our users with tangible, operational, factual data that they can leverage to better understand the carbon markets. And if I were to take a step back, in the fight against climate change, reduction and avoidance is no longer sufficient. All scenarios require permanent carbon removals. And yet, permanent carbon removals or durable carbon removal pathways are technologies that are hard to navigate, hard to understand, complex, and with very little data available or public data available. And so our aim here is to break that barrier and to provide a clear overview of what these technologies are, how do they operate, what are their limitations, what are their cost structures, their availabilities, their maturity level. In a nutshell, kind of draw the curtain on these technologies for people to then understand how they work and start including them within their net zero strategies.
Got it. That sounds very, very valuable and really happy to be part of it. Who would you say would be the most ideal, like who should listen to this series?
Anyone interested in carbon removals and wanting to understand better the ecosystem. So be it the sustainability leader, the carbon manager, or just, an employee within a company wanting to understand what these technologies do, how does the market look, what are the future trends that we should be expecting from it. These are the people we're doing this show for. And we're going to do also our best to keep it concise so that you will be able through these series to get a rapid glimpse as to where the market stands and go about your day.
Amazing. And what should people expect in the format and the content of these reports?
So basically, the idea is that we'll provide this series on a bi-weekly cadence in a small and condensed format so that you get pricing trends per removal pathways, the latest news, and information around these different removal pathways that are available to us. And mainly here, we're going to focus on direct air capture, biomass CDR, which is an umbrella term that covers biochar, bio-oil, BECCS, and sea kelp sinking. We'll also look at enhanced rock weathering and mineralization, and finally, ocean CDR, which is another umbrella term covering direct ocean capture and ocean alkalinity enhancement.
Fascinating stuff. I know you and I talked about these technologies before, and I find them quite intriguing, and I'm really looking forward to going deeper and learning about them myself over time. I hope that the audience will also enjoy the same. You've mentioned the CDR market. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the CDR market, or as some are starting to calling it, the verified carbon market, is basically a market comprised of approximately 250 CDR companies or projects that we've identified at CarbonX, of which we're tracking approximately 150, that we think meet our basic high quality carbon drivers criteria, which focus around permanence, net negativity, verifiability, and additionality. And of these 150, projects, we would say 30 approximately are ready for commercialization, and that we have now been tracking for over a year.
Got it.
And what we're seeing is, there is a rapid expansion of the market in a very small amount of time. And if I were to give you a few numbers, I think in just 2 years, this market soared from a non-existent market to now a thriving $1 billion market. And there are now key industry players like Microsoft and JP Morgan, which are already securing substantial tonnages through MOUs or memorandum of understanding, which is also shaping and contributing to the market's dynamic and growth. And finally, I think there's two more points I'd like to share is, I think people need to understand that we need to brace for a wave of new capacity hitting the market. Over the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to be looking at hundreds of thousands of tons becoming available, presenting exciting opportunities for those companies, early adopters ready to embrace carbon removal solutions. And I think a last question I'd like to ask or share a point is, not to be misled by price variations. Today the CDR market spans from, affordable options at around already $100 a ton to higher end solutions, which are more in the $2,000 a ton. And this is really in contradiction to the common belief that carbon removal, and especially durable carbon removal, comes with a hefty price tag. Here, the idea is that through this series, we will break down these assumptions and give you a clear understanding as to where the market stands and why it is ready now for us to transact with.
All right. Well, thank you, Paolo, for giving us some context on what we're doing this for, who we're doing it for and why. So for anybody listening, if you find this interesting, if this is useful for you, make sure to turn on notifications. These reports will be coming out every 2 weeks. And especially if you have feedback or ideas for upcoming episodes, questions, please feel free. Actually, we would really encourage you to reach out to contact@carbonex.world to give us your thoughts, because we would love to shape this show around what you need and what you're interested in. Until next time.